Iran's president's son is shocking Tehran by publicly towing a different line from his father, Masoud Pezeshkian, at a moment when the state is trying to control the narrative. Pezeshkian's son called on the Iranian leadership to restore internet access as protests began to dwindle, arguing that cutting communication only deepens mistrust. Yousef Pezeshkian reportedly said the regime is merely delaying the inevitable truth, suggesting that reality will surface regardless of censorship. He reportedly argued that nothing is solved by postponing videos of a violent protest crackdown, because evidence and testimonies eventually reach the public anyway. The president's son also warned that keeping the internet shut could widen dissatisfaction, by turning a security measure into a daily grievance for ordinary citizens. He reportedly said keeping the net shut will widen the gap between the people and the government, framing connectivity as a social bridge rather than a luxury. Yousef Pezeshkian further said Iran should face the aftermath of the protests' violence, implying accountability will be necessary for stability. Yousef Pezeshkian said the release of videos showing protest violence is something Iran will have to face sooner or later, because information has a way of resurfacing. Pezeshkian's son said shutting down the internet will not solve anything and only postpones the issue, arguing the political cost rises the longer the blackout lasts. Yousef added that keeping the internet shut will create dissatisfaction and widen the gap between the people and the government, warning the state could lose even neutral citizens. Pezeshkian's son concluded that those who were not previously dissatisfied could be added to the list, suggesting the shutdown itself may manufacture new opposition. Iranian journalists are reportedly pushing back against Khamenei's government to relax the internet restrictions, arguing the blackout is hurting society and the economy. Reports say President Pezeshkian and the communications minister favored lifting the internet ban, indicating there are divisions inside the system on how to respond. However, The Guardian reported that Ali Larijani, head of Iran's Security Council, opposed any move to restore full access, reflecting security-first thinking. Iran's Computer Trade Organization says the shutdown costs roughly $20 million a day, turning the political crackdown into a major financial drain. Reports now say the Supreme National Security Council has greenlit ending the digital shutdown, signaling a possible policy shift as pressure builds. Fars News claimed the decision to lift the digital ban was approved by Iran's top Security Council, suggesting the move carries high-level authorization. Some Iranians reportedly regained internet access only briefly and with an unstable connection, indicating any reopening may be gradual or tightly managed. Since protests erupted in December 2025, Iran's leadership launched a sweeping crackdown on dissent in January 2026, moving from arrests to broad restrictions. The regime imposed a digital shutdown on January 8 after protests turned increasingly violent, using connectivity controls as part of its security response. Internet access was blocked and international phone calls were barred for roughly 92 million Iranians, effectively isolating the country from outside communication. Multiple reports say the shutdown was followed by a violent crackdown across Iran, with security forces moving aggressively to disperse crowds. A CNN report cited witness accounts describing widespread violence by Iranian security forces, alleging excessive force in multiple locations. Some protesters were allegedly shot in the face while many sustained severe injuries, claims that have intensified anger and international concern.
In early hours of Friday, January 9th, a large number of patients came to the hospital, all of them suffering from eye rupture, unfortunately. Some of them had been injured in both eyes. There were a lot of eye injuries. Until Saturday, over 70 patients came to the hospital plus 196 patients that we've sent to eye hospitals across the city, with prior coordination. In total, around 1,000 patients presented to the hospital. These were the patients that needed urgent surgeries and suffered eye ruptures. I didn't take into account eyelid ruptures and patients not needing instant surgeries.
Protest death toll figures have been highly disputed, with estimates ranging from about 5,000 to as high as 25,000, reflecting a lack of transparent accounting. The Guardian cited a Norway-based NGO claiming the toll could be 25,000 and that thousands were detained, painting a picture of mass repression. However, on January 21st, Iran's Security Council said 3,117 people were killed during the crackdown, offering a much lower official figure than some outside estimates.
25 करोड़ गरीब गरीबी को परास्त करके बाहर निकले।
For the good of our nation, let's work together and let's truly make America great again.
The fastest news breaks.
Requested PM saying that look, you will have to speak to Putin and to Zelensky.
The biggest newsmakers.
The relationship with India is probably the most important bilateral relationship the U.S. will have for the rest of this century.
The capital delivered quite an election result today.
Expert analysis.
The million-dollar question today is how to stop this dance of death.
Ground reports.
I'm standing at the crossroad of the Kumbh Mela. Behind me are more than 100 entry guards.
Long-form interviews.
Exclusionary politics is reflected in Manipur case as well. You don't bother because this is a small state.
Deep dive into burning issues.
It's often said DRC could be the richest country in the whole world. It's because of what sits underneath.
Why exactly did the US topple the Sheikh Hasina government?
HD videos. We don't just break news, we break it down.